Shedeur Sanders takes over Cleveland. A new era begins. Shedeur Sanders has officially joined the Cleveland Browns, and what a debut he's made. From the very first snap, he showed poise, power, and precision, the kind of quarterback presence Cleveland has been waiting for. With Shedeur under center, the Browns suddenly look like true contenders, not just playoff hopefuls. His ability to read defenses, extend plays, and deliver with confidence is already transforming the energy of the entire roster. The offense is clicking, the defense is fired up, and the city of Cleveland is buzzing with belief. Let's not kid ourselves, this team is looking like a legitimate Super Bowl threat. The Browns might just be this season's surprise champions. And if Shedeur keeps playing like this, it won't be a surprise for long. Browns fans, do you believe this is the year? Drop a in the comments if you're riding with Shedeur and the dog pound to the top. Run Shedeur Sanders, Cleveland Browns rookie phenom, Super Bowl bound dog. The NFL schedule has officially dropped, and with it, a sobering truth that Browns fans have long tried to ignore, but must now confront. The 2025 Cleveland Browns aren't just entering the season with a chip on their shoulder. They're marching headfirst into what may be one of the most brutal, unbalanced, and unforgiving season openers in the entire league. And no, this isn't just about strength of schedule. It's about rest inequality, travel demands, media neglect, and a sequence of games that almost seems deliberately engineered to test Cleveland's resolve. Before we dive into the chaos, smash that like button if you're a true believer in orange and brown, and drop a comments. My heart bleeds orange and brown. Let's start with the elephant in the room. 0 primetime games. None. The Browns are one of just 3 teams completely shut out from the national spotlight. And while some fans proudly shout Cleveland versus the world, the cold reality is this is the team only scraped together 3 wins last season. Without a clear-cut quarterback and minimal momentum, the NFL has opted to keep them out of its high-visibility time slots. Technically, there's a glimmer of light. The international game in London, it's not under the primetime lights, but it stands alone, a singular broadcast that might be the Browns' only brush with national attention this year. Now, some players, like Grant Delpit, don't mind the early Sunday grind. Even Tweed. I like playing Sunday at 1 anyway. Works for me. But here's the real issue. The structure of this schedule is relentlessly punishing when it comes to recovery time. The Browns are tied for the worst net rest differential in the NFL at 7 days. That means less recovery than their opponents week after week. And that could be the razor-thin line between survival and collapse. Let's break it down. Week 3, Cleveland hosts Green Bay. But while the Browns play on Sunday, the Packers enjoy a Thursday night warm-up, giving them 3 extra days of rest heading into Cleveland. Week 5, the Browns jet off to London to face Minnesota. Meanwhile, the Vikings are already in Europe from their Dublin game. So while Minnesota adjusts and settles, the Browns will either fly in from Detroit or take the long haul from Cleveland midweek, fighting jet lag while the Vikings acclimate. And the punishment continues. After London, most teams are granted a bye week, but not the Browns. Instead, they come straight back to face the Steelers, who conveniently just had their bye in Week 5. So Pittsburgh rolls in rested while Cleveland stumbles off an international flight advantage. Steelers, again, even when Cleveland finally does get it by in Week 9, guess who's waiting in Week 10? The New York Jets, who are also coming off their bye. So much for rest advantage. It's almost like someone at NFL Scheduling HQ had a personal grudge. Doesn't even begin to describe it. Sweet. Lions Week 2. Ravens Week 3. Packers Week 4. Lions Week 5. Vikings. London Week 6. Steelers off their bye. That's 6 straight weeks against potential playoff contenders, including 3 division rivals and 4 teams with 10 wins last season. The first possible break. Week 8 vs. the Patriots, and even that's a wild card, depending on Drake May's development. This isn't just a tough stretch. It's a trial by fire. For a team attempting to rebuild from the bottom of the AFC North, this feels more like punishment than parity. The Browns were supposed to benefit from a 4th-place finish, drawing easier matchups. Instead, they've been handed one of the toughest slates in the league. The AFC North basement is still too strong, with even the Bengals going 9-8. So Cleveland gets no favors. So here's the reality. Browns fans, if Cleveland can emerge from the first 6 weeks with even a 0-5 record, it should be seen as a minor miracle. Because the NFL didn't just overlook the Browns, it may have stacked the deck against them. And this is more than just about scheduling. Each stretch of this season carries ripple effects on the quarterback competition, locker room morale, injury risk, and even long-term front office decision-making. The road ahead isn't just steep, it's mountainous. And let's be honest, this season may not just determine the Browns' record. It could dictate Kevin Stefanski's job security. Let's not sugarcoat. If the Browns stumble out of the gate with a 1-5 or 2-4 start, the conversation in Cleveland and across the NFL won't simply revolve around bad luck or schedule quirks. It'll shift toward leadership, accountability, and whether this franchise can ever build something sustainable, or if it's destined to hit reset again. One of the most critical under-the-radar dynamics of this punishing schedule, its direct impact on the quarterback conundrum. As of now, the Browns still don't know who's taking the first snap of Week 1. The most electrifying name is rookie Shedeur Sanders, brimming with raw potential, but he's untested. He's competing in a room filled with seasoned but inconsistent veterans like Joe Flacco, Kenny Pickett, and Dylan Gabriel. Let's be real. It's not exactly a quarterback room that strikes fear into opponents, and yet with 6 high-stakes matchups to start the year, Cleveland doesn't have the luxury of easing Sanders into action. They'll either throw him into the inferno and hope he rises, or hand the reins to another QB and pray he can withstand the storm. But maybe the biggest story, the one buried beneath all the outrage over missed primetime slots and unfair rest windows, is what this adversity might do to the locker room. Will it break them? Or will it forge something unshakable? The addition of Charles Woodson to the ownership group brings a legendary voice and gravitas to the building, but ownership and influence are not the same. Will his wisdom reach the heart of the team? Will his presence be the compass that guides this battle-tested squad through the fire they're about to walk through? Because this isn't hypothetical anymore. This adversity is real. It's coming fast, and it's coming without mercy. Then there's momentum or the threat of losing it entirely. A slow start can derail a season before it even begins, especially for a team that's still trying to forge a new identity. It's not just about who you face. It's about when and where. And the when and where for Cleveland is downright vicious. No early breaks, no soft landing spots, no favorable travel windows, just a relentless carousel of elite opponents, brutal travel, and minimal recovery. So even if Cleveland finds its rhythm midway through the year, the early damage might be too deep to undo. And in a franchise that's been under a microscope, there will be no patience for excuses. This season could shape the next 5 years of Browns football. It could mark the beginning of a renaissance or the collapse of another rebuild. But there's one glimmer of hope in the darkness. Adversity breeds resilience. If this team can fight through the chaos, if they claw their way to 6 or 7 gritty wins despite it all, it will say more about the culture, coaching, and core leadership than any padded record ever could. Because this roster has weapons. Especially on defense, ownership just made a bold move with Woodson. The fans are loyal through every heartbreak and heartbreak and heartbreak again. The energy is simmering, waiting for ignition. So now we ask the question, can this team hold the line long enough to weather the storm? This is the story of the 2025 Cleveland Browns, a team with everything to prove and nothing handed to them. And now it's your turn. Let's be real. This season won't just test Cleveland's football IQ. It will test their soul. It will test Kevin Stefanski's ability to unify a locker room under siege by an unforgiving schedule, an unresolved quarterback dilemma, and external doubt from every direction. There's no hiding, no shortcuts, just a call to arms. The Browns have been overlooked, underestimated, and chronically underrepresented, but that's nothing new. What is new? The potential beneath the pressure. The raw fire of Shedeur Sanders, the elite leadership of Jordan Hicks, the spiritual guidance of Charles Woodson, and a city that bleeds football, even when it hurts. Those are the intangibles. They don't show up on a state sheet, but they just might turn the tide. If the Browns channel this pressure, if they survive the opening onslaught, they won't just win games. They'll earn respect. And by season's end, we might not be talking about how the NFL stacked the deck against Cleveland. We might be talking about how Cleveland rewrote the rules of the game. So if you've ridden the roller coaster of heartbreak and hope, like this video, subscribe to the channel and sound off in the comments. What are your expectations for the 2025 Browns? Can this team rise through the fire, or has the NFL gone too far? Let your voice be heard, because this year more than ever, we ride together. Breaking news out of Cleveland, a move that's got fans divided, analysts stunned, and league insiders scratching their heads. Because it's not every day you land one of college football's most hyped quarterbacks without a blockbuster trade, without a top 5 pick, without a bidding war. Enter Sanders. Yes, that guy. Sanders is officially a Cleveland Brown, selected 144th overall in the 5th round of the NFL draft. A decision that's sending shockwaves through the league. Let's unpack everything that just went down. But before we dive in, smash that like button if you believe Kevin Stefanski is chasing a Super Bowl, and subscribe now so you never miss a Browns update again. Strategic genius or dumb luck? Just a few short months ago, NFL Twitter, media pundits, and a good portion of draft experts were projecting Sanders to go as high as second overall. Had the Browns pulled that trigger, it would have cost them $46 and over 4 years. But Andrew Berry played the long game. He watched the board, timed the descent, and struck gold, saving $42 in the process. This wasn't just a budget move. It was a masterclass in salary cap navigation. Not only did Cleveland land a dynamic QB with massive upside, they also preserved their first rounder to bolster the defensive front. But this is bigger than money. Let's not downplay it. This isn't just a rookie signing. This is a cultural pivot. Sanders isn't just a quarterback. He's a leader, a brand, and a spark this locker room desperately needed. His rookie deal, $4.66 million over 4 years. His jersey already top 5 in NFL sales. Endorsements rolling in. The Browns didn't just draft a player. They ignited a movement. QB chaos or strategic depth. Now, let's address the question on everyone's mind. Does this mean Sanders starts week 1? Let's pump the brakes. The Browns currently have one of the most chaotic, intriguing QB rooms in football. Kenny Pickett, Joe Flacco, Dylan Gabriel, and now Sanders. That's 4 styles, 4 stories, 1 job. According to Mary Kay Cabot, Pickett is projected to open OTAS as QB, but that's hardly set in stone. If he stumbles, both Sanders and Gabriel are lurking in the shadows, waiting to capitalize. And then there's Flacco, the proven veteran with playoff grit, a safety net Cleveland knows they can trust. This isn't just about who throws the best spiral. It's about long-term value, chemistry, and vision. Flacco doesn't need May reps. We know what he brings. The real question is whether Pickett, Gabriel, or Sanders can elevate the franchise. Pickett gets the first shot number, but the margin for error is razor thin. Rookies turning heads even in rookie minicamp, the battle lines are forming. Gabriel reportedly got more looks with the first team, though let's be clear, that's rookie camp, not the main squad. Still, eyebrows were raised. As OTAs heat up May 27, June 6, and mandatory minicamp kicks off, June 10-12 reps will start to matter. What about Deshaun Watson? Surprisingly, Watson has faded into the background of this QB conversation. He's been active on social media, tossing passes and rehabbing, but there's growing speculation he may not take the field in 2025. From a financial perspective, it actually makes sense. His contract is insured, giving the Browns cap flexibility if they choose to move forward without him. Final thoughts, this move wasn't just about snagging a talented rookie. It was about sending a message. The 2025 Cleveland Browns aren't waiting for permission. They're taking risks, reshaping their identity, and investing in the future without mortgaging it. Shedeur Sanders might not be the starter today, but he just might be the face of the franchise tomorrow. And here's the kicker. If Deshaun Watson sits out the entire 2025 season and is released afterward, the Browns could recoup a staggering $44.04 million in cap relief. So while his shadow still looms over the franchise, Watson's presence may no longer define Cleveland's quarterback future. That marks a seismic shift in how this roster is being built. A full-blown QB showdown. We have a full-scale quarterback battle, one defined not by desperation, but by deliberate competition. This isn't the front office gambling. This is calculated evaluation using OTS to investigate the unknown. They know what they have in Joe Flacco. They've seen enough of Kenny Pickett to make an educated guess. But Shedeur Sanders and Dylan Gabriel, those are the wild cards, the potential future stars that could reshape this franchise. So, and don't be surprised when you see headlines like Sanders gets first team reps, Gabriel working with the ones that's not a coronation. It's part of the process. The Browns are going to rotate, experiment, and observe. They want to see what happens when a rookie QB stares down Denzel Ward and Martin Emerson, not just camp invitees. Because the real test isn't college tape. It's not Instagram highlights. It's how you perform when the pads come on and you're facing Pro Bowlers. Will a rookie start week 1? Let's turn it to you. Will rookie quarterbacks start for the Browns in week 1? Could Shedeur Sanders shock the league and leapfrog Pickett and Gabriel? Drop your take in the comments. We're just getting started because this offseason isn't a warm-up. It's a proving ground every OTA rep. Every 7-on-7, every collapsed pocket read, they're not just reps, they're auditions for QB1, for locker room leadership, for the future of the franchise. Spotlight on Pickett, Flacco, Gabriel, Sanders. Let's break it down Kenny Pickett, this is his redemption arc. Drafted in the first round by Pittsburgh. Now fighting to start for their fiercest rival, like the Cleveland Browns. It's poetic, it's intense, and it's real. Pickett's got some familiarity with AFC North defenses, even Ennis. But he's also got a bullseye on his back. If he doesn't flash quickly, the Browns won't wait. Joe Flacco, the battle-tested veteran, the emergency hero who stepped off the couch and revived the Browns' playoff hopes last December. He's proven, he's calm, he's capable. But the fact that Cleveland drafted 2 quarterbacks this year says it all. If Flacco is a bridge, not the destination, he may start, but he won't be the long-term answer. Dylan Gabriel, the Oregon standout, flew under the radar, but insiders saw the potential. ESPN's Dan Orlovsky compared him to Tua Tagovailoa, lefty mechanics, clean ball distribution, quick reads, and precision. Thank you guys. See you next video.